Hello everyone. It's a really low watch count, Sayatri. Yes, because this is not in time. The day after what it should have been, and everyone was caught by surprise. What the hell is happening here? But anyway, I'm here to talk nonsense about Italy versus England, which is the big event. Of course, it's all coming down to this. On Sunday, we are going to find out if this thing is going to be called tea time or coffee time from the week after onwards. Because, of course, if we win, which is, what everyone is hoping for, especially in Scotland and Ireland, we are going to change a lot of rules here, especially within the company. Imagine, we are a British company, an English company with an Italian office for marketing. So it's going to be a massive clash of culture. I have to say that, of course, we'll have to see, after the result, but we'll finally find out if pineapple on pizza is allowed. And it's a cringe thing to say, but of course that's one thing. We'll also find out, if the English will finally start having proper lunch at lunchtime, or lunch breaks, like proper lunch breaks, and if we are going to be keeping, dressing in a proper way, or or start being unfashionable all the time. But anyway, that's not the goal of this live stream. The goal of this live stream is to be friends with everyone. So hello everyone. Hello, welcome to a very weirdly placed tea time. We were planned to go live yesterday, but a huge thunderstorm and hailstorm hit Milan, and we were down with power for a long time. So we decided to move everything to now, which is a convenient time because after this we're going to have a proper celebration of the PzC2 10 years anniversary. So it's a great way of celebrating. We start with the tea time with a little bit of news about everything else, and we'll then move to PzC2. My T-shirt doesn't constitute Italian haute couture. No, it doesn't actually. It's a Japanese. Full Japanese T-shirt. So of course it's not the clothes, it's the style. It's different. You've got to have it or you don't really. And other than that, oh, Mordante, welcome back. You weren't here last week, and then yesterday you moaned about something. You have to be present at all tea times, otherwise we notice. Make sure that you're back next week, because we'll find out. Otherwise, we'll refrain you from buying more DLC, Field of Glory DLCs. After that, just a reminder, we need another 11 subscribers to get Field of Glory 2 Medieval on the Sleet Store. And I won't make the count, but it's just about 246 more followers to get another 5 back catalogs game on the Sleet Store. I've got to eat. And by the way, this is the real clash. Is it Ferrero against Cadbury? Who will win? Of course, Ferrero chocolate is better, but I'm Italian, so I'm fighting for my own corner. Anyway, start with important stuff. Guys, PzC2 tournament. Those of us with job cannot play 5-7 turns per day, 40 days, 14 days, please. Ronnie, man, we've got good news for you very soon, so keep following. Right, so Distant Worlds. One of the things I wanted to show you first thing is that we've released the first DLC for Distant Worlds, sorry, first DLC, the first ever diary for Distant Worlds. This is a very important moment in the promotional time, the promotional path for Distant Worlds 2. You know that the game is releasing this year. We are going to be releasing a lot of more materials from now on. But this is the stepping stone is that we started trying to give you more information about, you know, the background of Distant Worlds 2, you know, why we started developing it, you know, the team behind it, how it was conceived, why it was conceived, and you know, you start understanding more about the scope of the project and how, you know, Distant Worlds 2 is now becoming, you know, a completely new world of its own. And the first dev diary focuses very specifically on the three things that are, you know, the key elements that made us do this jump into new technology and everything. So we've got a little bit of information about the engine we're using, which is important because it allows us to do the very specific things that Distant Worlds does. You know, a world that's living whilst you play. That's one of the most important things. So we needed an engine for that would allow us to do all these things. So you go to the dev diary, you've got all the information there about that. The other big thing about the engine was, of course, that we wanted to have, you know, the scalability of, you know, going from very specific battles to, you know, going to a very wide open look at the map of what's happening in your galaxy. So having these two elements together is not easy, and it's not possible in all game engines. So we wanted to make sure that also this engine, you know, allowed us to do this in a super flexible way. The second element which we focus on the dev diary is UI. Now, many of you have played Distant Worlds, and we know that UI in Distant Worlds has always been a stumbling block because it was almost like the most important element that was putting people off. Distant Worlds is a complex game, and it wasn't conceived from the outset to, you know, to appeal to such a big audience. It just happened because the game is so cool and great and deep. So it wasn't possible for us to dramatically change the UI in Distant Worlds universe back in the days. So we actually, when we actually started developing Distant Worlds 2, we had this in mind, where the first goal would be, you know, make it more accessible. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easier. It doesn't mean it's going to be, you know, less deep in a way, but it's going to be easier to learn and easier to dive into different menus and so on. So I've got a few notes here I just wanted to share, but, you know, UI-wise, if you want to go, maybe Bruno, to one of the busier screenshots, we can go to these in more details. Yeah, maybe just this one full screen would be great. So basically, what you see there is that you have the top left. Just can you try and do it full screen, please? Yeah. So the top left there, you've got all your major headings, right? So you've got empire, diplomacy, you've got colonies, exploration, and resources, and so on. On the top right hand corner, that's where you have your basic piece of summary information, your current research project. You've got like up there, you've got the number of colonies and populations and so on. Now, on the bottom middle, this is something you can see more in a screenshot, in another screenshot. So I'll come back to that later. And then you've got all the details of what you're looking at in this specific moment when you drop down the window of the top left menu. So without that, then you'll see, okay, this one is an interesting screen. So go back to this one. I see a bar at the bottom, but I can tell that's the right screen. The bottom middle, you see the information of what is on screen at the moment. So you can link directly to a specific planet or specific ship and so on. It will tell you all the details about that specific element on screen. So a more contextual contextual screen or what UI element that's what's happening at that specific moment on screen, whilst all the other surrounding UI elements are more about the game and what the game status is at that moment. So we tried to give a shape to the UI so that once you dive into it, okay, it's not going to be easy, super easy at the beginning, but once you're into it, you kind of immediately know how to use and what to use at the same time. It's super easy to understand. So it's a lot of work went into this because the game remains very complex and deep. So you've got to do with all this information. But we really tried hard to make sure all this information were well displayed. So the last point we wanted to cover with this dev diary is automation. This is a big thing with Distant Worlds. One of the big successes of Distant Worlds, making sure that if you don't want to take care of everything, you can actually get the game do it for you. But we've got more on Distant Worlds too, and we wanted to make sure that players who really weren't interested in specific parts, they could really let the game play for them. And so you'll have all the information about that. So you've got the link, hopefully there's a link to the dev diary, and it's been posted already or will be posted. Check it out, make sure you give it a go. It's super interesting information, and also you get to learn more about Distant Worlds 2, which is great. Of course, the game is wishlistable both on the Matrix site and on Steam, and we'll get more information for the game very soon. We'll add also more people to the beta, so make sure you subscribe to the beta if you want to contribute to make the game better. And also, make sure that you tune in for more information. Dev diaries are going to come about every 2 or 3 weeks now. Hopefully, in a constant way. Every couple of weeks time, you'll have more information about the product, but also, will allow you to understand a bit more what we're trying to achieve with this game. So, stick with us. Chicho, I connected right now. What's up till the moment? Well, we talked about Distant Worlds 2, and we talked about the football, so not much else. Current timeline: 3rd or 4th quarter 2021. Cornac. I think it's more going to be probably Q4, so from October onwards, but still chances that we're hitting before that. Honestly, it's very much down to how beta goes, but there is very, very little chance, very little chance that it goes past these. So it's definitely a 2021 game. Mordante, Marco's Jackalus 1, a medieval key. He PM'd me thinking I might have one. You broke his heart with your joke. Oh my goodness, this is really bad. I don't know what to say. Listen, is Jackalus around or not? If he's in the chat now, he gets a key. If he isn't, tough. Will there be any early access program, Arcol? No, there's no early access. We'll release the game. We'll release the game, and that's it. When it's done, and we, it's not like. Of course, this is a kind of game that's growing over time, but we're not planning to do a vertical slice or anything. It's not going to be like pieces of a game and then add on top of it. There will be a lot of work after the game is released, but it's going to be like fixing and improving rather than just adding features and things. I feel guilty. I never feel guilty for anything except for with my wife. That's another topic though. Can't wait. It's my birthday this weekend anyway, that my name can be put in for the next round of beta. House of Corbin is in the next round of beta because it's his birthday. Francesco, please add House of Corbin to the next beta, and just let us know your forum name. Right, so next up, I'm just wasting time here. Right, so on Battle Sector is just weeks away from release. We have like, I think 2 weeks away from release. So we just released a video for the Tyranids. So we wanted to show you the video for the Tyranids and show you how big these guys can be in the game, and lethal as well. And then we'll get back to the live.
Relentless, hungry, adaptable, and ever-evolving, the Tyranid threat on Balfora is as extensive as it is diverse. Individually weak, yet produced in vast numbers, the Gaunts are sent first into the fray to test their enemy's resolve and overwhelm the beleaguered defenders. They primarily come in two types: Hormagaunts, which cut down defenders with vicious scything attacks, and Termagaunts, which provide covering fire with their flesh-borer weapons. The enemy distracted, Tyranid warriors engage the enemy with deadly acumen. While not as numerous as their Gaunt brethren, they provide synaptic leadership to the Tyranid swarm, while also being powerful combatants in their own right. The Gene Stealer, however, has an intelligence and cunning all its own, and requires no such leadership. Able to slunder any foe with its powerful claws, they are forever seeking a short-range engagement they are almost certain to win. When these forces are not enough, the Tyrannifex can be called on to rise to the challenge of the most grueling combat environments. Hulking above its brethren, its sheer size allows it to fire its devastating bioweaponry over most obstacles. But there is far more to the Tyranids than the mere strength of its numbers. Lurking below the unwary, the Trigon awaits its moment to strike. Armed with massive claws and towering taller than any foe, its cleaving attacks will crush through even the thickest of armor. Some say there are bigger, more vile, more repulsive threats that lurk in the ranks of the Tyranid swarm. Only the brave or foolish would care to find out for certain.
You just saw a Tyranid giving birth live on screen. You don't have that on Twitch every day. Yes, we moved the release date to the 22nd. That's purely because of market reasons, nothing to do with development or anything. The developers were actually, Black Lab's been exceptional in delivering everything on time and so on. So definitely not their fault, just a marketing choice. Then more, just can you go up? I think there were questions about stuff I wanted to answer. There's a Starship Troopers. Yes, the beta has started and we're adding more people as we go. So Icewolf 81, if you're in the beta, you know, it could be you anytime, unless it's your birthday tomorrow, of course. Any news about release date for DW2? Commander Ravelli, we said between end of Q3, beginning of Q4 right now, but we'll tell you more about it later on. Boo, bad market. No, it's not a bad market. It's unfortunately, you know, just reading that last year, and that was like something like over 9,000 games released on Steam. So you've got to pick your release dates right, otherwise you just get swamped by other stuff. You know, and as a publisher, that's our role, right? Pick a date and move it, and then move it again, and then move it again. You know, that's our what we do best, I guess. Richard, you're not allowed to do any football joke on the chat, and it's not well, it's coming home. What's home, really? We don't know. Will be additional faction release for Battle Sector. Kornak, well, that's the goal, really, that, you know, the game, if successful, expands into, you know, future factions in a way. Yes, absolutely. And Right, so next up, there's a new Fog 2 tournament, Mordante, Fog 2 tournament just open. If I don't see it, don't see you in the participants, I'm gonna come and get you. This is a Byzantium tournament. It's in the vein of what we did with with the Roman history ones. We're doing a Byzantium dedicated one, and it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battles, following on the evolution of the Byzantine Empire with all the technologies and such. So one of the things is to note is that when you actually play it, subscribe to the tournament, you don't have to own any DLC or anything. You just have to own Field of Glory 2 Ancients, and that's it. But make sure you get on a tournament. What I keep saying to everyone is, if you just like a game or own a game, start a tournament. It's just fun. The Swiss chess system will put you against people who are about your level, about your experience, especially in the later rounds. So it's just a fun way to enjoy the game, and we're putting it in so many games now. It's like we'll start having a load of different cool ways of interacting with players and between games and ranking you and giving you awards, and it's going to be massive. So make sure you just participate and try it out and say to your friends and so on, because it's a great way of enjoying a war game with and it's competitive, but it's just fun. And the top guys will always fight about it. If you just want to have fun, it's just great. We just do it in the office all the time, and it's great to see Paolo lose all the time. So yeah, just do it. So that was for Fog 2 tournament, and de nada, Paolo. We have, I just wanted to also tell you that there was an interesting article published on War in the East 2 on foreign policy, written by Michael Peck, if you want to give it a go. I think there's a link somewhere if you post it in the chat, guys. The thing is that it's very cool because it's he's actually taking the game to explain how to teach history with War in the East, which is actually a pretty cool way of doing it. And it's of course well written. It's Michael Peck, but it's also showing that War in the East goes beyond the wargaming world. It's something that's so big and over the top that managed to cross boundaries and go in different directions, that unexpected directions as well. So just give it a read. I think it's a great article on foreign policy. You can read it. Reminder about next week, we have the Las Navas de Tolosa live stream on the 16th at 5 p.m. So what will happen? Presentation about the Reconquista in general with Professor Robert Houghton. We just talked to him on the phone just before the chat, before the live stream. Like, a great guy, and he's going to take us. He's also helped the Paradox to Crusader Kings, and so is your go-to man if you want to talk about video games and history. And he's going to tell us about Reconquista and what was the background and so on. So we'll have a chat about that, and then we'll dive into the battle itself with Richard York, the marvelous Richard York, and historian Jose Marquez, Spanish, who will also be telling about the military history of the period and the strategies and the weaponry and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be an incredibly interesting session. We hope you like it, because if you like it, then we'll have more of these coming in the future. We think it's a great way of using games to talk about wider subjects, and also tell you about our passion for history and for for what these subjects mean to us, and what they mean to you as well, because you probably also like military history and history as much as we do. So it's a great way of doing it. Everything will also be published on YouTube later on, because I think it's a great way of using games in a kind of a different way. So going to some questions there. Richard is a very solid Folk 2 player, Edmund. Edmund, I think you're saying that because he beat you like 100,000 times, I think. Is it because of that? Every other picture I've said, when would be possible to stream Distant Worlds 2 on Twitch? Tough one. I think you probably write to Paolo, and Paolo will tell you. This is very much to do with when we start releasing code to the press. So I don't have the answer for that, but stick with Paolo and he'll tell you. Never played him. Okay, I suggest everyone out there that the next big clash is Edmund v Richard York in a live stream, and we make sure that we find out who's the best. Okay? So make a note of that. We have, after the big final of Italy versus England, after that, any day, you pick the day, we'll have the big confrontation, the Edmund against Richard York, and we'll advertise that everywhere. Promise. Paolo v Edmund is just a no-go. Just a no-go. Every one important point I want to share with you. Just read this out, because Bruno is very cryptical sometimes. So if you're a subscriber to the Slitherine TV Twitch channel, and you also are in our Discord, Slitherine Discord server, you have been automatically added to the Twitch subs channel on the Discord server. Got it? Yes. If you got this, then go on the Discord server and you can redeem a pack of Battle Sector wallpapers that you see there for your PC and smartphone. And you'll get more goodies as we go. I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, write to Bruno or ping him on his phone. His phone number is... No, joking. Right, so any question? Anything else? Any news on World 2 combat missions on Steam? Tom, we'll still have to release Cold War, which is the next one. And after Cold War, we'll do the World War II series. So it's probably going to be before the end of the year. And there is a poll there. Richard York is given a 63% chances of winning, and we'll run the bets through professional betting agencies from tomorrow, and you can see that live as well. Matrix Games and Slitherine, 17 years anniversary reward, boom. Oh my goodness, that's a long time. No, Jacques 1 never came back, so he's lost a key, and I'm sorry for that. And any news on Order of Battle DLC Boyan? Yes, there is the second one. I think the second one, Roberta can get me wrong, but the second one of the Allied trilogy is coming soon as well. So it's definitely before the end of the year, but we don't know exactly when. We're finishing up mission design at the moment. 50-50, that's very much you guys out there. Everything finishes 50-50. It's just hard work. You guys are hard work. Right. So just to finish this up, we don't have a list of streams because we're having the Panzer Corps thing after this, so it's not over, but it's over. But later. Yeah, give it later to me. So stick with us. We have After this, we have Panzer Corps 2, Panzer Corps 10th year anniversary, interview with Alex Shargin, announcement, big announcement, videos about 1942, tournaments, big stuff happening. So I'll throw all these papers away and I'll keep this for Panzer Corps, and I'll be back to you in like 4 minutes, 5 tops. Cheers.